Oscar Piastri didn't come from an F1 dynasty. Unlike Verstappen, Leclerc, or Hamilton, he had no famous last name and no built-in sponsorship machine. What he had was a father, Chris, an automotive engineer who doubled as his mechanic in the early days. The boldest move came when the family uprooted from Australia to Europe, placing Oscar right in the furnace of European karting, the most brutal proving ground in motorsport. At first, Oscar wasn't dominating. He wasn't a prodigy like some others. But that's exactly what makes his story special. He learned, adapted, and improved step by step. By the end of 2016, he was already battling the best in the world. This patience, this resilience would become his trademark. Piastri wasn't born a star, he built himself into one. From 2016 to 2021, Piastri's career skyrocketed. In just 5 years, he went from Formula 4 rookie to one of the most decorated junior drivers ever. Formula Renault, Formula 3, and Formula 2 all won consecutively. No one had ever pulled that off before. And it wasn't just the trophies, it was how he did it. In F3, he took the title by just 3 points, showing nerves of steel in a chaotic final round. In F2, he destroyed the field with consistency, winning 4 consecutive feature races and sealing the championship early. These weren't flukes. This was calculated brilliance. While others cracked under pressure, Oscar stayed cool, calm, and clinical. And yet, despite all this, there was one lingering question. How could someone this good still be overlooked by F1 teams? Oscar was Alpine's golden boy, until he wasn't. As their official reserve driver in 2022, he spent endless hours in simulators preparing for the big break. When Alonso shocked the world by leaving for Aston Martin, Alpine rushed out a press release. Oscar Piastri would race for them in 2023. But there was one problem. They didn't have his signature. In a bombshell moment, Oscar went public on Twitter. "I will not be driving for Alpine next year." Instantly, the fiasco was born. Was this betrayal? Or was Alpine guilty of mismanagement, trying to chain their young star without a real contract? Mercedes boss Toto Wolff even warned about karma. But the truth emerged later. Alpine had dragged its feet for too long, and Piastri had already signed elsewhere. It was ruthless and brilliant. Behind the scenes, McLaren had moved fast. Daniel Ricciardo's decline left the gap, and Zak Brown wanted a young gun to replace him. Mark Webber, Piastri's manager, saw the opening and struck. The contract recognition board ruled in McLaren's favor. Oscar was theirs. At just 21 years old, Piastri had secured one of the most iconic seats in Formula 1. But it wasn't going to be easy. He was stepping in alongside Lando Norris, already the team's poster boy. Many expected Oscar to play second fiddle, to quietly learn in Lando's shadow. Instead, what followed was the birth of one of the fiercest intra-team rivalries in modern F1. 2023 began brutally. DNFs, electrical failures, and a car that looked stuck in the midfield. But Oscar refused to sink. At Silverstone, he qualified third and nearly scored a podium. In Belgium, he went wheel-to-wheel with Verstappen in a sprint, proving he wasn't intimidated. Then came the breakthrough, Japan. Piastri stood on the podium in just his rookie year, the first to do so since 2017. A sprint victory in Qatar followed. Suddenly, the quiet kid from Melbourne wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. McLaren rewarded him with a long-term contract extension before the year even ended. He had arrived, and the paddock knew it. McLaren's dream team was quickly turning into a nightmare. Norris, once the clear star, now had a teammate who matched him blow for blow. In Hungary, team orders favored Lando after pit stops, sparking whispers that McLaren had picked its chosen one. But Oscar didn't sulk. He waited, pressured, and eventually reclaimed the lead on track. The rivalry was no longer hypothetical, it was real. Fans divided, Team Lando versus Team Oscar, and the tension only grew. McLaren insisted both were equal number ones, but history tells us something different. When two future champions share a garage, fireworks are inevitable. Just ask Senna and Prost. Dominating Verstappen is the ultimate test in F1. Most drivers fold when they see the Red Bull in their mirrors, but not Oscar. Cool under pressure, sharp in wheel-to-wheel fights, he's one of the few who's shown he can stand up to Max. Some compare him to Alain Prost, not flashy, not loud, but brutally efficient. Could he really be the man to dethrone Verstappen? Or will McLaren's politics and Norris's own ambitions hold him back? The stakes are higher than ever, and the question isn't just about Oscar's talent, it's about whether the F1 system itself will let him shine. So, how good is Oscar Piastri actually? The stats tell one story: consecutive junior titles, rookie podiums, sprint wins, and now race victories. But the real answer lies deeper. It's in his mentality. He doesn't chase headlines, he doesn't stir drama, he just delivers. That's why fans call him the silent assassin. He doesn't need bravado. His results speak louder than any trash talk. Whether he becomes a multiple-time world champion will depend on the battles ahead, with Norris, with Verstappen, and with the politics of F1. But one thing is certain: Oscar Piastri is not just another driver. He's the clearest sign yet that a new era is coming to Formula One.